ways in which they have turned those produce into various finger-licking, mouth-watering delights for our health and strength and daily food. If you dig a little more, you will discover that your parish is home to some of the most illustrious sons and daughters of this blessed Jamaica land we love. One too little we know about the Honorable Daisy McFarlane Cook, OJ. But one not too little to know about the Honorable Claude McKay. You ever hear that name? Oh yes, he was born right down here in a little district named Sunnyvale. And Claude McKay reminds us that like plants, human beings grow. He wrote that he plucked his soul out of a secret place and recognized that human dignity is more important than prestige. You should know that your parish is the birthplace of the Honorable Olive Lewin OMOD. You ever hear that name? Half of the folk songs you're singing, Miss Olive Lewin walk up and down Jamaica and ask people about the folk song, how them learn them, what them mean, and document them so that you can learn. That you don't have nothing to be afraid of. We look on someone this evening and look so afraid at this senior graduation. And Olive Lewin song come to mind. Right through the rocky road. Oh no, no, that one there. For the road is not easy, but we're going right through the rocky road. You should know that your parish produced a distinguished poet by the name of Linton Kwesi Johnson, the first black person to be published in the Penguin Book of Verse. You never even know that. Come from right down here, so in a Clarendon. He now lives in London. And in one of his poems, Linton Kwesi Johnson insists that we can't face the reality. He said when we can't face the reality, we let go with clarity. We latch on to vanity, and somehow we end up in an insanity. Children, children. Children, children.
Yes, Mama.
Children, children.
Yes, Mama.
Where have you been to?
Grandpapa.
You lie, you've been to Hazard Primary School. And so I want to ask you, what any of what I just said have to do with you? Don't you asking yourself that? What any of what I just said about the Tainos and the riot in 1938 and what the parish used to name and the Denby Festival and all of those wonderful people, shall I tell you? Firstly, it is extremely important to know which part you're coming from.
Yes.
You were born in a parish of greatness. The Tainos were extremely sophisticated people. They had some scientific fishing and boat building techniques that we are yet to duplicate. In other words, it's cool, but it don't cool. And when you think of the Tainos and the science that they used to get through this land and leave you with a wonderful combination of bami and fry fish, I want you to know that you walk in the footsteps of great scientists, and this country is looking to you to produce the next accomplished Jamaican scientist. Hazard Primary School. Children. Children. I want you to know that science is not bigger than you. Do not be afraid of it. Tell yourself that you are up to the task. Secondly, I tell you all of this so you can know what you are entitled to. You see the Tainers? Them used to sleep in a thing named hammock. You know who invented it? The Tainers. That's a fact. The Tainers invent hammock. And history tells us that you only know that you need to relax if you have worked hard. And that is what the hammock symbolizes. That is where we get the idea of recreation. We have a right to that. You have a right to beautiful parks. You have a right to safety and security. You have a right to live, work, and relax in peace. And you have a right to adequate compensation for your labor so that you can buy any hammock you want, hang it up any which part you want, and sing as you please because you earned that. Children. Yes, children. Yes, where have you been to? You're bright. So the third thing I want you to know, why I'm telling you all of this about your parish, is that you need to be committed to the idea of self-sufficiency in food. Your parish cannot have the biggest agricultural festival in the region and you are joining long line to go consume somebody else's fast food without any knowledge of what their secret ingredient is. Our secret ingredient beats all others. It brings us close together. Our secret ingredient named Runaport. It named mango season. It named guava season. It named breadfruit season. When the tree have on too much, you say neighbor. And neighbor come out and you share and take some. That secret ingredient don't come in the plastic bag.
That's right.
Finally, why am I telling you all of this? I'm telling you all of this about the people who came from your parish so that you know that right under your nose there are great and wonderful examples of anything you want to do. You don't have to look anywhere for inspiration. Your parish has produced that. In case the parents them think them get where, your children cannot be anything that you are not. Once upon a time, you know, a mother crab and a father crab. Give baby crab some lick. Every day them a beat baby crab. You know why? Them a tell baby crab to stop walk sideways and straighten up and walk. And every day baby crab a cry. And one day the crab look for mother crab and father crab and say, you know I want to walk straight, you can show me. Whatever we want our children to do or become, we can show them. You don't have to handle the maths. You don't have to have no pep in your step. You only have to be like my mother who had 3 words in her entire vocabulary. When she see you sit down on her waist time, Miss Pearl said, book, book, book. And you get up and you take the book. And if you think about sit down with 1 page, she said, what are we at page 30 hard? And if you think about turn the page because she's going to ask you what the page says. And that's all you need to do. You don't need to do anything else. Now I am well aware that the name of your school is Hazard Primary School and Special Education Unit. And I know Miss Heather Lynn does a great job. I would like you to think on this, that the only thing which marks every single one of us as special is the level of our education. Our grandparents were right. Silver and gold. My granny and your granny are the same granny. Then how you know what my granny said about education? Alright, help me say it now. Silver and gold, but a good education. Education allows us to do many things. One of them is to contribute to the maintenance of a civilized society. And that we are free. And that we are free, Mr. Mitchell. Purpose, respect, and that we are free. That is what allows us to maintain a civilized society. We do that when we demonstrate our capacity for taking care of the most vulnerable amongst us. We don't laugh after people who can't run like we. We don't laugh after people who learn at a different pace than we learn. We don't laugh after people who can't change them frack every day. Nothing of us so. We look after the vulnerable. If we do that, we would be honoring and paying tribute to Claude McKay. If we pursue our dreams and live our lives by taking to heart his belief that, and Claude McKay said, nations like plants and human beings grow. And if the development is thwarted, they are dwarfed and overshadowed. So we now overshadow nobody. We will lift as we climb. Children, children. Yes, Mama. Children, children. Yes, Mama. Children, children. Yes, Mama. Where have you been to? May you all graduate into your greatness. May this day mark the beginning of your growing into educated, caring men and women who are giants, representing not just the best of your parish, but the best of what makes Jamaica an outstanding nation. And may we all live to salute and thank you. At that we are praying.